and stuff like that, okay?
Mhm.
Hello, I'm Sue. Welcome to Fireside Chat. I have some special guests with me this evening. I have Shriya Shankar and I have Saanvi Thippireddy, and they're visiting us to tell us about an amazing event they're going to be having in a few days. Welcome. How are you doing?
We're
We're
doing
good.
good.
How
Um,
are
awesome. That's great. Thank you. So, this event is going to go on, it's on March the 10th. And so you can tell us where it's going to be and a little bit about the event if you'd like.
Okay, sure. So, if Shreya, you want to start with what the event actually is?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a breast cancer nature walk where we're just gonna have a bunch of people going along a trail and we're just gonna be teaching them about the breast cancer in itself and just like the fundamentals
Mm-hmm.
around it, prevention, how you can like cure it, treatments, those little things. But along
Yeah.
the way, we're also gonna have like little trinkets, maybe candies like hidden like in the trail, and we're just gonna like allow people to like have a minute and just go find it. So it's kind of like a fun activity where you also get to learn. And then towards
Sweet.
the end, we're gonna have like a Q&A session with like bracelet making as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, does it cost anything for people to come?
No,
No.
the event is completely free.
So, what's the name of the organization that you guys are part of at school?
So, we're both students at International Academy East in Troy, and we're part of a club called HOSA, which is Health Occupational Students of America.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the club prepares students for future medical careers, and you get to choose different events you want to learn about. So, we chose to do the community awareness event. And for our project, we're researching breast cancer, which is a pretty prevalent, but it's a very commonly overlooked disease. So, we're just trying
Yes,
to educate as many people as possible in order to help them lower their risk and get diagnosed as early as they can.
absolutely. So, there's other students at your school who are doing, there's different things that they're doing at your school. Like there's people, different projects and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and this is going to go on until the end of the school year, the program. It's like the next few weeks. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's amazing. So it's going to be between 2 and 3 p.m. On March 10. And is there like a fundraiser or anything going on for like breast cancer or any of the foundations?
So actually we're gonna do like a fundraising jar kind of at our event where if people
Perfect.
want to donate have cash on them. But we're also doing another fundraiser actually with
Perfect.
Krispy Kreme, and that's on Instagram. So our handle is at HOSA underscore breast cancer underscore awareness. And it's like the first link. It's through Group Raise. And it's basically like you can kind of pay and then pick up your dozen on your own. And like a percent of that just goes to us. And then we donate it to our foundation.
Wow, that's
The
amazing.
foundation we've chosen to donate to this time is the Susan G. Komen Foundation, if you've heard of it. And
Yes.
we've done other foundations in the past, like we've done Shades of Pink. So we're just trying to reach as many different organizations as possible.
That's great. Yeah, those are really big campaigns. It's very helpful because then people who know you can kind of like, oh, like people ask, what are you up to or what are you working on? And then if they want to, show up or if they want to donate, like that's all welcome, right? It's a really
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
cause. So
Yeah.
it's an extracurricular, so it's kind of like an after school.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And
Yeah.
let's see. So, yeah, this is from what you guys sent me. We'll be doing a walk and scavenger hunt in a community park where we talk about our campaign and what we've done so far, give information regarding breast cancer awareness and prevention, provide educational and fundraising resources, have a question and answer session at the end. During random times of the walk, we'll have 2-minute dashes to find as many hidden surprises in the trail. This is wonderful. Which will include a breast cancer ribbon and a surprise. We'll also give the person with the most surprises at the end an additional prize. and hold a question and answer session with bracelet making. That's so sweet, right after to the end. So that's amazing. That's really great. And then people in the community, you can let them know too that the show will be available for them to watch too. And it's just exciting. That's really amazing. So do you know anybody who has breast cancer or who has fought it in the past?
I do. One of my family friends did, and it definitely was a struggle for her, but she made it. And I
I'm
think
so
that's
glad.
like one of the reasons. That's also one of the reasons I kind of like we chose this topic because out of
Yeah.
all the topics we could have chosen, like we've done this event in the past, and like oftentimes the topics that we've chosen have always like connected with us in a way.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
chose breast cancer this time, just it really hit home, but it also like motivated us more in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're literally helping people who maybe they weren't able to get testing done or whatever, and there could be like things that they can do in the next few months that might come about. Like you never know your impact, right? But if you're kind of just giving and you have a good heart and you want to, sincerely support a cause, like, miracles can happen sometimes, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
and
do you
I
study? Go ahead.
Oh,
we also a lot of times we focus a lot on prevention for that reason because
True.
you can prevent it to an extent. I mean, genetics plays a huge role, but like a lot of times, like you can
Hmm.
also do a lot of controlling after the fact. So it's like there's
Yeah,
always a chance, and that's kind
absolutely.
of what we focus.
Yeah, it's a hopeful kind of a thing, right? Like, you want people to not feel alone who are experiencing this. And, like sometimes people don't know that there is help and that other people care. So, yeah, it's incredible. Like there could be people who have never done a check on themselves or anything like that. So at school, so do you kind of like, is there anything that you're interested in maybe looking at for your own careers? Have you thought about what you'd maybe like to go into in the future?
well, I think for both of us, we've definitely both looked into the healthcare field just because I
Good
think
idea.
healthcare is not just about like biology, but it's also about helping people because you're
Yes.
using what you've learned to help other people learn about themselves because
Mm-hmm.
education is honestly the best way you can make a change for yourself and in any community. So
Right.
since we both, I feel like really outspoken people, I think we're both very like extroverted and outgoing. So
Awesome.
like helping people is just part of something I think we like to do, and we want to keep doing it in skills that we like. So I
Right.
personally really like biology, and I like genetics and just looking at all those things. So if
Amazing.
I combine it with public service, like that can make a lot bigger difference.
Right. Wow. Do you know what you're sort of interested in? Same like healthcare field as well?
Oh,
Um,
go ahead, Shreya.
for me, I would say I'm really interested in like the heart and also like your
Awesome.
brain. So if I were to go
Me
into one,
too.
it would definitely be cardiology or neurology. But I also love working with children, so pediatrics
Aw,
is like it's in the top three for sure. But yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I know, because it's kind of hard to think about like how many years into the future, like because it takes so long to kind of get some of these degrees and things like that. But
Mhm.
it's true what you guys said earlier. Like if you're personally connected to something that it's meaningful for you, that you know people, it's kind of pulls you forward because there's hard days sometimes. Sometimes it's not easy, right? You're up against a lot of competition and all that in some of these fields. And so it's like you want something to personally drive you forward, right? And you have each other as well. I hope that maybe you can go to a school that's close, like that you're close to each other. And because, you've been kind of a little bit of a distance from the school, like all of the time that you spend going into your school and coming home, like look at how that's bonded you, right? And that's really precious. And now you probably look back and think, if I'd never met you, my whole experience of school would be different, right?
Yeah,
So I'm very,
definitely.
I'm
I
very
think
glad you found each other. So what grade are you in at the moment, like this year?
we're both in 10th grade this year, and like HOSA is open to all high school students across America in general. So we started working on HOSA in ninth grade when it was first available to us, and we did a campaign on diabetes back then because we personally knew
Wow.
people that were experiencing that, and we realized it was such a common issue in our
Yeah,
community that there's we realized with a lot of these diseases, there's awareness, but there's a lot of misconception.
so
And it's
true.
hard for people to find out like what they can actually do to prevent it that's realistic for like everyday lifestyle. So breast cancer was just one of those things that we were like we know people where we want to help people that have it, and like we can find the resources and put them out there.
Hmm. Yeah, when I was going through it, there was a couple of studies. So when I'd go see like the surgeon or some of the specialists, they would themselves be conducting breast cancer studies, like clinical studies. And so you're going to go see these doctors anyway, but it's really cool because you can contribute to actual current research, right? And so it's like, it's so nice to be kind of helping in so many ways. Like, you're not just going through it yourself, but you're kind of like helping other people that come after you, kind of thing, because you don't know who your research is going to benefit, but hopefully your whole generation, like, you don't even know the impact sometimes until after. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may not even know who you're influencing and inspiring until like maybe after the event, and like, you just don't think that you're just one person, but it's amazing how one person can make such a difference, right?
Yeah, I think like
Absolutely.
connecting people with science is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So in grade school, did you kind of like science? When did you start thinking, hey, this might be interesting? Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I think for like me personally, my family is like very into science. Like my mom works in the
Yes.
healthcare field, my uncles work in the healthcare field, my aunt works in the healthcare field. I just grew
Wow.
up surrounded by it, so I was always like drawn towards it a little bit, and then like through certain opportunities, and obviously being around like-minded people like Shriya's also. So I think that
Exactly.
just encouraged me to pursue healthcare.
Is there anyone in your family that is just interested or already in the field?
I mean, my mom's always been interested in the field, but she didn't go into medicine. She works in healthcare though. But
Awesome.
I think what really like defined how much I love science for me is I think in sixth or seventh grade when we did the strawberry like DNA experiment where we got to like crush them up and we got to look at the DNA. I
Oh
found
my
that
goodness.
so
Oh my
fascinating.
goodness. Like, what, it probably didn't look at all like what you might have, because who's seen strawberry DNA? That's that's hilarious.
It was so cool. And
Yes.
it was a mind-blowing moment for me. I was like, this is what I do. Like, this is amazing.
Wow. Because they do genetic testing sometimes with, when you have breast cancer, you can do a kind of a genetic sort of test where if you want to know if your children might have it, if there's some kind of a gene, something called like BRC2 or
Yes,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and so when they do your study, then they call you in for the results, and then they can tell you, like, do you have, like, can you pass it on or not or whatever, and it's just such a detailed thing. I wish I could show you the study, right? But it's so interesting, and apparently that genetic test is like a couple of $1,000, and I had no idea. But it's so cool that you have an idea of what that would be like. Like, it's amazing, like, it's you, right? Like, it's just so, it's incredible, right? But yeah, I just hope that people, will not always have cancer. It'd be so nice to actually cure it, and the only way to cure it really is for them to have the money to do the research and to do testing, and you know what I mean. So it's what you're
Mhm.
doing is it could impact, right, many lives. So yeah, it's amazing. So what would you like to take in, like, in college? Like, are you thinking about maybe college going forward?
Yeah, I think definitely we are thinking about it. I'm not sure exactly what I would take, but definitely like there's just certain things like I've experienced with other activities, extracurriculars that make me think like this would be something I want to do for my rest of my life. Like I joined a program for like
Hmm.
genetic research, and we did a lot of experiments where we figured
Wow.
out like certain people had certain genes, and I just thought it was crazy how like you could have this gene and you could predict what you could have in the future. I thought that was really cool. But then also
It's
like
amazing.
helping people, so it's like conflicting, but there's fields that combine all of that.
Yeah, there's always some good, right? Like I feel like, you can focus on, bad or you can see the good in things and there's just so much good that could come from that. And, if the right people are kind of at the helm, then you can take it in a direction that does help others and that is a positive thing. But yeah, it's amazing how one experience can kind of change your whole view of something and then that influences you going forward. Yeah, that's right. So I guess did you have to with the diabetes project too, was that like a lot of planning and did you have to set up like an event or something or more than one event for
So we
that?
do For our project, we basically do a bunch of community outreaches in different
Wow.
parts of our community. So, one area we obviously focus on is the area around us, place we go to school, place we live, but
Yeah.
also then we try to do clinics and centers in other locations. So, if you like, we can give you a quick rundown of all the outreaches we've done
Please.
so far.
That would be
Okay,
great.
so Okay, I can start it off and then Shreya can go from there.
Of
So
course.
the first thing we did is we distributed a flyer at our school because a lot of
Hmm.
students at our school, they're interested in healthcare, but we never know how much people actually know about breast cancer specifically. So we just did that and we had a survey in there and that told us how much people actually know about the disease. And it was really
Wow.
interesting to like see how much some people knew and then like maybe how some people could learn more and we wanted to
Right.
help because even we ourselves, like we obviously didn't know everything before either. It's everything
Yeah,
is a
that's
learning
right.
experience. So, and then we started reaching out to different libraries. But before that, we actually made an Instagram page. Like I think Shreya mentioned the handle before. It's at HOSA underscore breast cancer underscore cancer awareness. I think so.
I think it's just awareness. It's at
Yeah, just
HOSA underscore
underscore.
cancer underscore awareness.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
the handle. And we started posting on there because we tried it last year and we realized you can actually reach a lot more people there, especially in our generation when social
Okay.
media is a lot more prevalent. It's a really good way to reach people.
That's so smart.
And then we started putting that Instagram QR code on our flyers too, so that people could have another way to reach more information because we try to post pretty regularly and just provide new
Awesome.
information, statistics, stuff like that. And we reached out to our local libraries. We reached out to the one
Hmm.
in my city, the one in Shriya City, and then Shriya, do you want to go from there?
Yeah,
Sure.
so we contacted actually a couple of clinics and hung up our flyers around there because it's just a different like environment to put our content into.
Right.
And then we started doing more stuff actually at our school. So we did a bracelet making workshop where kind of similar to what we're gonna do on Sunday, but
Right.
basically we had a presentation, then kids just made bracelets, and it was just a lot of fun overall. It was just a fun way. And
That's
then
awesome.
we also had like, a Zoom meeting for kids so we could reach like a different audience, but
That's so smart.
we about like breast cancer, the basics of it, and it was like kids like ages like 10 to 13. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we did like an interview with like a doctor just to like get more information for
Wow.
ourselves
That's
because
excellent.
we post we post a lot of like deep like information, like especially on our Instagram. We have a
Right.
lot of content on there on topics that like we talk about like medicalization, we talk about how like breast cancer affects like different parts of your body that like you wouldn't
Wow.
even think to like imagine when you first like when you think of breast cancer, you think of your breast. You don't think about your brain or like your lungs or like any of those body
Wow.
parts, but
No.
it has a lot of like content on that. So we're like always trying to get in contact with doctors so we could like get more about this, but also like
Right.
uncover like misconceptions in a way. So
Absolutely.
we did that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we partnered with Dr. Pamela Benitez, and then we, went back to the drawing board, edited our presentation more, and then we partnered with the American Cancer Society actually at our school, where
Wow.
we give a presentation to them, and they do a lot of
Wow.
like they do everything about the different cancers. So like this one week was like dedicated to breast cancer, and like we were like, hey, like would it be cool? And they were like, yeah, for sure. So we did that. And
Wow.
then I think
That's
this is
awesome.
like one of our biggest events is actually our pink out at our school. So we
Pink
sent
out.
out flyers, we did everything, and like a lot of people actually wore pink, and it was so
So
amazing. We
nice.
had like a fun that day, and it was honestly one of
You
the
must
best
have been
days I think
surprised,
ever.
like just every time you turn around, there's more people wearing pink. Like
Mhm.
that's awesome. And is it a pretty big school?
Our school's
Um,
actually relatively
it's,
small, and I think that's part of the
yeah,
reason why it's so fun. Like, we do
That's
certain
true.
events, but they're on a smaller scale compared to other high schools, which is fine too.
Yeah,
Like, we have fun at them, but it was just really surprising to see. I think the reason it works so well is like doing fun events that people like. So, like, if you do football games or like
true.
basketball games, and you give people an incentive to go where they can have fun but
Yeah.
also learn, it was just so exciting to see all the people wearing pink. And then like you can make it fun too. Like people dressed up as Barbie and then people dressed up as they would wear like sunglasses. They would wear like cheer a lot of people had cheerleading pom-poms. That was so cute.
Aw,
And
I
we also
think
awesome.
like a
gave them
car driver too, like in pink.
yeah.
That's
Oh, it was
incredible.
And
also really exciting to see our teachers. Our teachers wore pink too. That was really
Oh, that's
fun.
so sweet.
Yeah, some of them did really good with their outfits. One of them wore like a Barbie outfit and one of them
Oh my
just decked out in all pink. And we handed out ribbons too, so I think that was really fun.
goodness.
That's I think a really popular way to spread awareness is handing out ribbons. We've done that a lot and we realized like a lot of people really have fun with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great that they've actually become such a symbol. Like you'll see them like on magnets on cars and things like that, just driving around. And so it's amazing. Like you could be stopped at a red light and then think to yourself, you know what? I should go get a mammogram. So you don't really know who you're affecting, but your impact
Mhm.
can be huge. So yeah, definitely everyone, it's kind of like everyone might know someone who's gone through it somewhere in your family or your friends or your friend's mom or you know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
probably, is it one of the more common cancers? Like probably, right? Like probably one of the more like that a lot of people um, have it. So yeah, but there's such a need, and people really should get checked early because it makes a difference, right?
oh,
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think so some of the other, I guess, coming up events. Do you have anything else that you're kind of thinking about and maybe kind of planning in the future?
so we did just recently we did a park run. So we went to a community park near us where they do weekly runs on Saturdays. It's for people who are just enthusiastic about running. Sometimes they
Oh,
run for
okay.
classes. Sometimes they just, it's a fun thing to do. And
Absolutely.
they have community volunteers. So we decided like let's volunteer there, but also in the beginning, let's give a presentation. So right before everyone ran, we gave a presentation. And I think a really good experience that also came out of that is we asked for feedback and someone was like kind enough to like step up and tell us like things we could improve. They were telling us about other places we could also present. And that was really helpful because we realized we could reach a larger audience. Like they
Yes.
suggested a park run that had like 75 plus people. And we were like that is a really good place to raise awareness. Like we could reach so many
Hmm.
people. So we just were really grateful that someone was willing to tell us how we can make our
Awesome.
presentation better. And I think that's why like community outreaches work so well. You're interacting with people, you tell them how you can help them, and they tell you how you can help them. And that's one
Awesome.
thing that was really important from that event.
Absolutely. Did you get help? Like, I think, did you say you kind of like designed a flyer for the school? Like, were you able to kind of do the graphic design and everything yourselves? Did you kind of put it together yourselves?
Yeah, I think something we
Yes.
really enjoy is like something we really have fun with is making our things, our flyers, our presentations, anything look really aesthetically, visually pleasing. I think people are more
That's
likely to
awesome.
look at it that way. If you look at our Instagram, there's a common theme in all the posts. So that's something we
Wow.
have fun with. It just makes us happy, like to see everything come
Yeah,
together.
It's kind of like having a brand or something. Like it's amazing that pink is such a powerful symbol and all that, right? Like the ribbon and all. Like it's whoever made that up years ago, they actually hit on just the right kind of theme, right? Because
Mhm.
it's like you immediately know. I don't know if it's all over the world, but definitely in North America, if you see like
Mhm.
a pink ribbon, you know that's breast cancer. So they've done a good job of actually, in a sense, creating a brand and then just making it stronger with time. So it's great that you guys kind of like use some of the same details and like the same kind of colors and that kind of thing, you know? So did you actually have like pink ribbons? Did you go and like buy pink ribbons and like put them in a little, yeah. Did you have to go get the little safety pins and everything?
Yeah, and it's actually really funny because I'll be like walking around school and like we gave them out that day, like we did the pink out, and I'll just see
Right.
like a random person with a pink on their backpack that we gave them, and
So
it's so
nice.
heartwarming. It's like the sense of like how much of a community like everyone is. Like
Absolutely.
it was so hard. It was like everyone just came together just for that one cause, and it was
That's amazing.
amazing.
It
So
was nice to
is it kind of like a little bit like a competition among other I guess people doing other projects, or is it kind of a competition?
Yeah, I mean, I just
Yeah,
definitely think like everybody wants to spread awareness and everyone actually does care about the disease they're doing. But yeah, the
that's right.
intention of the actual organization is to see like how you're doing community outreaches, and then
Hmm.
you'll get ranked and placed based off of just different factors. Like we have grading rubrics and everything. So I don't like think it would be a competition necessarily like how good are you at raising awareness, but how
Right.
you're presenting yourself. So. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. But it's all for a good cause. So I think at the end of the day, like that's all it comes down to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. So I really hope the weather's going to be good on, is it Sunday? It's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sunday. And so if people want to come a little bit early, and then is there a certain, like, where would they go in the park? I think it's called Coldwater Springs Nature Area. So how can people know, like, kind of like where to park or where to go? Like, if there's a specific place, will you have like a sign or something like that that people can like look for?
Well, I think there is a parking lot, but we're also going to be standing there until like everyone gets there. But we're planning on making a sign as well. So if someone's like a little late, wants to join along, we'll just point them towards the trail.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I'm so glad. So hopefully it's really nice weather, and I hope I see I have a lot of people come, and it's good that it's, you know, kind of spring. Like if it was like January, we'd have to worry about the weather more. Hopefully it'll be
Yeah.
nice out that day. But yes, if people wanted to contact you, is there like a website or anything like that that you might be part of? Would you say the Instagram is probably the best way to reach you, or to if people have questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see
Yeah,
if I have
Instagram.
anything
we're also going to
because
be posting, I think, I want to say like Saturday,
Mhm.
tomorrow about like sales timing and stuff. So if anyone is interested, they should definitely go check that out because we're gonna post about that. And then yeah, our best contact is probably our Instagram for right now.
Yeah.
Instagram.
We
Yeah,
check our
that's a
DMs
great
pretty
because
regularly.
so that's awesome. I think what we'll do is it'll just be an amazing. It'll be such a good event, and you know, like you're gonna feel so good about what you're doing because you're truly doing it for others, and so really, your whole community would be very proud of you. Thank you so much for caring about this incredibly important issue, and yeah, hoping, wishing you the best of luck. I hope it goes extremely well on Sunday. It's a pleasure to meet you both. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Good luck
Thank
to
you. Thank
you.
you
All
so
Thank
right.
much.
Thank you. You're so welcome.
you.